What an excellent way to kick off the NFL season by having a field goal to end the half for the Buffalo Bills. They are down, unfortunately, in the first half, but a great way to keep it a one possession game in the first half. The halftime score is the Ravens 20, Bills 13. Unfortunately, the Bills have not been able to stop Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, giving up a couple of touchdowns to them. You're seeing a lot of yards after contact for the Baltimore Ravens, and that's what's beating the Buffalo Bills right now, is the Bills are not maintaining their gaps. And I mentioned it very early on in my keys to the game, is the Bills maintaining their gaps and making sure that they are stopping and bringing down Lamar Jackson. You didn't see this here, and that's why the Buffalo Bills are down. But on that last possession where they gave up a field goal, that was a much better job by Joey Bosa and the rest of the Buffalo Bills defense getting to Lamar Jackson and creating a negative play. And I think that you're going to see a much different defense in the second half, giving up less points for the Buffalo Bills. Let's go over to the halftime scores, and we'll go over the game leaders for the Buffalo Bills and Baltimore Ravens. We'll start with the Ravens side of things. Lamar Jackson, 8 of 10, 67 yards in the game. Derrick Henry, 9 carries, 123 yards, and 1 touchdown rushing. Zay Flowers, the leading receiver, with 3 catches for 36 yards. Then on the other side of the ball for the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen, 12 of 17 for 113 yards, leading the Bills down on that drive for a 43-yard field goal. And how about Matt Prater coming in on a red eye to Buffalo from Arizona, only being here for a couple of days and making that 43-yard field goal in crunch time, coming onto the field and making that kick. That's incredible. Ty Johnson, the leading rusher, with 2 carries for 24 yards. Dalton Kincaid, the leading receiver, with 3 catches for 37 yards. I do think that the yardage, in my opinion, for the Buffalo Bills is a little bit different. He's not leading in terms of yardage. Actually, he is in terms of yardage, 37 yards. I thought that Khalil Shakir might beat him out, especially on that last drive with that incredible catch for the Bills. Let's go over the overall scoring summary for the game. And we'll start off with the Bills leading things off with a touchdown to Dalton Kincaid. And in my opinion, I thought that Dalton Kincaid was going to catch the first touchdown from the Buffalo Bills. 15-yard touchdown pass from Josh Allen. Incredible job. The extra point made by Matt Prater. Then it was a little bit of a run from the Baltimore Ravens. You saw a field goal by Tyler Loop on a 52-yard field goal, making it 7-3. Then Derrick Henry having a 30-yard touchdown run, making it 10-7. The Baltimore Ravens up. The extra point by Tyler Loop was good. Then another touchdown by Lamar Jackson, and that was a 10-yard rushing touchdown to make it 17-7. Tyler Loop making that extra point. Then Matt Prater making a 25-yard field goal for the Buffalo Bills, keeping it a one-possession game, making it 17-10. Then you saw the 49-yard field goal by Tyler Loop with 31 seconds left, and he made that to make it 20-10. Then the Buffalo Bills kicking that field goal, going down the field with only about 29 seconds left on the clock and bringing it down the field and kicking that ball for 43 yards, keeping it a one-possession game, which is incredible. Team stats overall, total yards, Baltimore 212, Buffalo 167. Rushing yards, 160 for the Baltimore Ravens, 54 for the Buffalo Bills. On the other hand, the passing yards, Buffalo has 113. The Ravens have 52. Yards per play, this is where Buffalo is giving up a little bit more, 7.6 to 6.0 for the Buffalo Bills. But there are some adjustments, like I mentioned, that the Bills can make, and I think that they will make, which is your gap integrity, making sure that you are not giving up your assignment, which is hard, especially against Lamar Jackson. He's so good as a dual threat quarterback to be able to use his legs while also using his arm. It's important to keep him inside and make sure that he has to run through the middle of the field rather than the outside containment too. So making sure you're containing Lamar Jackson, which is, I mentioned, is tough in this game, but also making sure that you're bringing guys down. We saw a lot of missed tackles in this game, and I want to see a better job from the Buffalo Bills of bringing down not only Lamar Jackson, but Derrick Henry too. Also, just for the Buffalo Bills, make sure you're playing a little bit more free. I feel like they're being a little bit tentative in this game and making a mistake. And I want to see them play a little bit more free, as you saw in that last possession from the defense of the Buffalo Bills. They did a much better job of playing free and getting to the ball carrier and bringing him down. Not only with one guy there, but multiple players there to assist on the play. Let's go over to Facebook real quick with some comments from John Robert. And John Robert says you need to spy in his opinion, and I completely agree with you there. Bring it spy. Maybe Matt Bolano can spy Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. John Robert also says the Bills to stop the run. Completely agree with you there. Prater is doing well so far. 100% he is. He's one of the best in the NFL, and I mentioned it in my pregame show how good he does, especially making the most kicks from 50 yards or more in NFL history. Besides guys like, I know that Justin Tucker is incredible with what he does, but he is one of the best kickers in terms of consistency from 50 yards or more. And that could be in play later on in the game. The Bills just need one stop to be right back in this game. And I think that they're going to do that. They're going to make halftime adjustments, as you've seen throughout the season last year. They'll make the halftime adjustments in order to beat the Baltimore Ravens. But I think that the offense started off a little bit slow to begin the game, a little bit inconsistent. Play calling from Joe Brady to begin was a little bit questionable, especially 2 bubble screens to run back-to-back. That was something that I thought of. And then the next possession where we got stopped on 2 runs, that was just not good either. But I want to see better play calling from the Bills offensive unit too, and being able to check down into the right place as well from the Bills. Let's go over to some of the scores from around the league for the NFL for week 1. This is the kickoff for so many different teams, but let's start with the AFC East side of things because that's what matters the most to us. The Pittsburgh Steelers defeated the New York Jets 34-32 in Aaron Rodgers' first game with the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Raiders defeated the Patriots 20-13 in a game that was Pete Carroll's first game back in the NFL after a year off playing and coaching for the Las Vegas Raiders, which was incredible. Then the Colts defeated the Dolphins 33-8 in a game where the Miami offense looked awful in that game, in my opinion. Let me go over to Facebook again. John Robert coming into the chat saying, I liked what I saw from Elijah Moore. He did a wonderful job in the first half. I love that end around that they gave to him, and he's done a fantastic job. But let's get more people involved and feed the guy that's hungry and ready to go out there. Rest of the NFL comes to an end tomorrow, as we will see the Vikings and Bears playing at 8:15 tomorrow. But let's go over the rest of the scores. The Eagles on Thursday night defeated the Cowboys 24-20. We saw on Friday the Chargers defeating the Kansas City Chiefs, which makes us happy in our opinion, 27-21 in that game from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Then the game that was delayed in the first half of the 1 o'clock games, the Jaguars defeated the Panthers 26-10. The Cardinals defeated the Saints 20-13. The Commanders, with Von Miller, former Buffalo Bill, being there, commanded the Giants 21-6. And a game that I loved watching in the first part of the 1 o'clock games, the Buccaneers coming down to the wire and missing a extra point from their kicker Chase McLaughlin, defeating the Falcons 23-20 in a game that could have very well been in overtime. Young Wei Koo missed the field goal in order to give the Bucs the win. Then a game that surprised me a little bit, the Cincinnati Bengals winning by 1 point over the Cleveland Browns 17-16. Then the 4 o'clock games kicked off with the 49ers defeating the Seattle Seahawks 17-13. The game that was close in Cam Ward's first start in the NFL, the Broncos defeating the Titans 20-12. Then we saw the Packers upsetting the Lions 27-13. The Rams, with Matt Stafford there, defeating the Texans 14-9. So this is a wonderful window for the Buffalo Bills in terms of teams that could be the number one seed in the NFL with the Houston Texans. You also had the Kansas City Chiefs losing 2, and this is the game where you could very well see the Buffalo Bills, if they win this game, take a commanding lead in the race for the number one seed in the NFL. One of these two teams, the Baltimore Ravens or the Buffalo Bills, is going to look into being the number one seed and will have a fast start on being the number one seed in the NFL after week 1. Mark Burkholder coming into the chat on Facebook. Appreciate you for watching us on Facebook. He said, I knew this was going to go just the way it is going. They didn't do anything to make this defense better. They brought Bosa in. Verdict is still out on him. And 2 players that can't even play till almost mid-season. LOL. I understand your frustration, Mark. Completely agree with what you're saying in terms of frustration. But I think that the Bills are going to have an answer in the second half. They've done a wonderful job last season of making halftime adjustments. And Sean McDermott and Bobby Babich are going to make those adjustments, in my opinion, in order to get the Bills back in this game. It's only one stop that we need. It could be the first stop of the second half, and that stop could put the Bills and Josh Allen back in this game. And when Josh Allen is at his best is when he's down and out, and he will make the throws and make everything better. The second half has kicked off for the Buffalo Bills. They are kicking off with Matt Prater out there. I want to go over to John Robert real quick saying I'm ready for a Shavers touchdown, and I completely agree with you. But let's see the second half adjustments that the Bills will make, and we will see you after the game for our post-game show on Facebook and YouTube. This has been the Go Bills Podcast Halftime Report. We will see you next time for another edition. As always, stay loud, stay proud, and Go Bills.